Hey guys, and welcome to the Phee Network's second episode of Phee Sports Ball with Sir Isaac the Guru. Boy, Isaac, I tell you what, you started strong Saturday. You ended up a little weak-minded Sunday. But right here at the Phee Network, we always give credit where credit is due. And the Pittsburgh minus 21.5, the Missouri game minus 8.5 after they looked bad early.
They did look really bad. I thought that was a loser.
Texas was their offense just didn't show up. Their defense did. You know, if you don't score but 38 points and you got a 36.5 point line, well, it's tough to win unless you get a shootout.
Yep.
See, and your Ole Miss Kentucky game was just I just thought it was should have been 3 touchdowns.
I think so too,
but it wasn't.
Nope.
And so you don't worry about the beats, you worry about the wins, and 4-2 means you collect money. But then again, he might have given it back Sunday. So let's get into it. Last week, what were the key takeaways for Sir Isaac the Guru in the first week of college football, our second week of college football?
Yeah, and don't forget about week 0, because that's a thing now.
Yes. Week 0 is always a thing.
First of all, I owe a public service announcement. I owe an apology for thinking that John Mateer was a freshman.
Oh.
Pretty sure I said he's a freshman. That man's not even close to being a freshman. I think he's been in college for 26 years.
I think he's 26.
Yeah,
I don't know about 26
I think
years.
he's not even remotely close to being a freshman. So that was pretty.
But he was a freshman to you.
He was a freshman at one point in his college career. I think that's what I was probably referring to.
As Phee always says, it's still news if you haven't read it.
True. See, yeah. He's a freshman to me. He's a first-year college player in my brain. But, yeah, that was really bad by me. When I got out of here and I started paying more attention to stuff and I realized, I was like, oh, no. I wasn't even close on that deal. But, start with the Texas one. That did not look very good for Texas still. They obviously won by a lot, but it
31, I believe, is exactly what I said.
It didn't look easy at all, and Arch didn't look great. Their defense looked really good, but their defense looked good against Ohio State.
Yep.
So, but they very easily could have scored a couple more times. It's just one of those deals where that's just how it goes. That's why Vegas, everybody says that's why it looks the way it does, and that's why my bank account looks the way it does too. But didn't look.
You said you started off the season saying, I don't like big spreads, Phee.
No, you heard me say it, and then what did I do?
And then one of your picks was a big spread, Phee. So, again, always follow the Sir Isaac the Guru's intuition.
Yeah, I should have. But if I would have learned that by now, I'd be in a lot better spot in, I think, every area of life. But hey, you know what? That's the fun of it.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be an easy win, and it was not. I didn't have this as one of my picks, but Clemson
struggled again.
Are they just bad?
I said they would go 12 or 11-1 and lose to LSU the first week. Now I'm a little nervy that they can beat Miami or Florida State because, as you said in last week, in episode 1 of Phee Sports Ball with Sir Isaac the Guru, you said, I am not sold, I will not be sold until he proves me wrong on the Clemson quarterback.
And I feel the exact same way. They were down like 16-0 at one point, and when I checked the score, I was like, oh my goodness, what's happening? Obviously, they came back and won, but it doesn't matter.
When I looked at that score, I thought, is Swaney still worried about NIL? Because if something's got to change at Clemson, or they're going to be changing for a head coach. But they went ahead and took care of business. But my goodness, 16-0 against those boys.
Right now, it's looking like they may have the best PR team in college football because everything going into the year was like they finally got some retention, brought some guys back, used the transfer portal a little bit. Oh, Clemson's different this year, and oh my goodness, that was a bad look. I'm not really upset about it, to be honest with you, but no, they looked really bad. Arizona State, That was a
Well,
good
I had
call.
them playing in Tempe, knucklehead, and if I'd have known they were in Starkville, I would have been a little different. But you called that one right out of the gate. Not only did you say that they would cover the spread, but you said they would win outright, and Sir Isaac the Guru was correct.
They did
with that pick.
They I think can be labeled currently as frauds at the moment.
Arizona State.
Yes, Arizona State.
The Sun Devils now. Sir Isaac is now calling them a fraud.
Yeah, the Arizona Sun
Either
frauds.
that or Mississippi State's found some in Starkville.
We know that that's not the case from a lot of years of experience, but no, Arizona State losing was I don't hate seeing that either, especially to the SEC.
I know you enjoyed it. You are an SEC homer.
Florida and USF, another weird one. I want to know here's a great question for you. In Fee's expert experience in football.
Fee's expertise. Go ahead and rhyme.
If there's a scale of Florida being bad or USF being good, where are we falling at the moment in your brain?
I believe the NIL money has taken the depth from the huge major Power 5 schools. I think it has helped everyone else. So I would say that South Florida, the Bulls, have always had a decent football team, and Florida can't find a quarterback, although they continue to tell everyone they get it's going to be the next one.
That's another one I mentioned last week that I'm not sold on.
And I know, and you were correct again, Guru. But I will tell you that I think Florida's they're about 7-5 this year, and I think South Florida's allowed to be 8-4.
The fact that they made, was it Boise State they played the first week? I think Boise State's always
decent,
solid,
yeah.
And they made them look really bad, and then
everybody immediately thought Boise State's falling off the face of the map.
Yeah, and then beating Florida like that, it is still possible to me. I haven't made up my mind, that's why I asked you, but it's still possible that USF may just have a better team than I think right now.
I believe they do. And sooner or later, the W's in one column that outweigh the no L's in the other one, you have to give them some credibility.
Absolutely. And Florida's that's a tough
they have
fan
athletes,
base to disappoint with. And they got 17 schools down there, but yet still.
Them and Texas A&M seem to disappoint their fan base here in the last 5 years. I don't understand how either one of those programs can't get it right with all the money they're spending.
As Arkansas fans, it makes it extra hard too, because we're sitting here going like, look at the names coming out on this field, and we're over here complaining about the seasons that we're having, and meanwhile Florida and A&M are racking up the biggest recruits in the country, and they can't get it done either. So that makes it extra hard for me.
Were you excited to see OU, which you were a little nervy of, with that new quarterback, just pretty much manhandle Michigan?
I think there's very few situations that I would be happy to see OU do that to somebody, and that was one of them. I don't like Michigan at all. I really don't like OU either, but they've been bad enough the last couple of years that I'm not opposed to rooting for them in that situation. And the Michigan quarterback looked like he was out of
a fish out of water.
Yeah, he looked like he didn't know what was going on, and the Oklahoma quarterback looked good again. But they honestly just looked like it just kind of wasn't. They just looked better. Defensively, I saw that they didn't run the ball well at all, which I think Michigan would probably hope that was the case, because I think they got a bunch of size and talent on defense too. But yeah, it ended up being a difference in quarterbacks, and the Michigan quarterback did not look good at all.
Folks, you have to remember that I grew up in eastern Arkansas in SEC country, 7 miles outside of Memphis. I never had any hatred for Oklahoma. I loved Barry Switzer. I always pulled for Oklahoma against Nebraska back in the early 70s with the Selman brothers and Billy Sims and Rich Glover and Johnny Rogers for Nebraska. It was just a great game for me as a kid because I liked the red pants of Nebraska with the white shirts and the white helmets with that N on it, and then you come back with the white pants and the red shirts with that OU on it. So I never had any hatred for Oklahoma, but if you grew up in western Arkansas, now I live 3 miles from the Oklahoma border, there is a real distaste for OU on the western side of the state because they've been better than Arkansas for many years. And I guess they come over here and talk a lot of trash because there's not anybody over here in my hometown that likes OU if they're from Arkansas, or that likes Arkansas if they're OU fans.
It's true. When I just moved to Little Rock, obviously, a few years ago, and when all my friends down there, we'd be watching OU play, and every single week I'd see OU play. I'd be like, I can't stand OU, blah, 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 and all my friends couldn't. They were like, why? Like, why do you not like OU? But they're all from, like you're saying, they're from the other side of the state. They don't care about OU. They never had to deal with the fans being obnoxious, and I'm sure they feel the same about our fans, but it's just being on the border that obviously it just makes us feel a certain type of way because we're around. They all work here. We work over there. You're around each other, and it's just easy to dislike a fan base when you hear from them all the time, especially when you're bad. Like you said, they're always good. We are always not very good, so it makes it even worse when they're over here racking up 10-win seasons and putting quarterbacks in the NFL, and we're just doing our thing in Arkansas. So
when I was growing up, in the state of Arkansas, there was a real hatred for Texas. And in eastern Arkansas, just like in western Arkansas, they don't like OU. In eastern Arkansas, it was Ole Miss and Tennessee. If Arkansas ever played Ole Miss, which they played every year in the 60s and early 70s, and then they started that rivalry back in either Little Rock or Jackson, Mississippi for a while. But I will tell you that my daddy could not stand and disowned me after I left Arkansas and went to Ole Miss. And he did not like that decision by any means. So there is a close proximity to a different fan base makes a difference. Now, your Arkansas State game ended up just like we said it would. It didn't make a difference whatsoever. Nobody talked about it the next day, and it's time to move on to Ole Miss. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually ended up. It doesn't count on the show if we're keeping track of picks, but I ended up betting on Arkansas. Me and a couple of buddies got talked into it, which was I still will say that was stupid because I don't ever want to give us a chance to emotionally and financially make me angry. But
it's double trouble or it's double dipping, baby.
It's most of the time it's double trouble, but we ended up betting on us to cover, so that was another good one. My college day was good. But we'll obviously get into NFL
Cashing those tickets, baby. Cashing those tickets. Do you have any players of the week that stood out to you in college?
I didn't get to watch a lot of football last week, to be honest, myself on Saturday. So I didn't get to see many people specifically, and it was a lot of big schools beating up on little schools too. So a bunch of people look good. The Missouri running back still looks really good. I know we both brought that up last week. He looked really, really solid. But Oklahoma's quarterback, Arkansas-wise, our running back finally got a big explosive play. Talon still looks pretty good. But I didn't get to watch.
He looks very accurate this year.
He looks a lot better. He's just gonna miss throws. Like again, referencing some friends. I got some friends that are getting so mad, just down talking Talon all the time, saying that he's just not a good quarterback. He misses these throws, and I agree. He does. He doesn't have an NFL arm at quarterback, but you just have to know. You have to know like what your quarterback is, and he is explosive running the ball. He's an insane athlete.
Offense, he's the best runner Arkansas has had since Matt Jones.
Yes,
and before then it was Quinn Grovey. You're looking at a talented runner,
and you just got to understand that when you've got a guy like that, most of the time they're not going to have the best arm. And the ones that do wind up being Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen in the NFL. It's just not common. But, no, I think he's looked a lot more relaxed this year, and we're just going to have to live with him missing some throws. It's going to happen. It's going to happen all year long. I hope he stays healthy because every time he was healthy last year, especially in the Ole Miss game that he got hurt in, he just makes plays with his feet, and it gives him the opportunity to make plays with his arm. And I think that we have a chance offensively in any game we play with him at quarterback. I don't think that he's the best quarterback in the country. I just think that when you have an offense with a guy like that, it gives you a chance. You can make big plays that other people can't.
You heard it here, folks, on the Phee Network. Sir Isaac the Guru says Arkansas will have a chance in every game this year. We will see. Because I do not know how he's going to be running with that offensive line.
When you said it out loud.
Folks like Notre Dame and Tennessee. And there's about LSU. There's Ole Miss this week will be a test. So let's go to Oxford, Mississippi, and talk about the Arkansas-Ole Miss game. Ole Miss is favored by a touchdown.
Yes, they are, and I'd be surprised. There's been kind of more talk later in the week that their quarterback might be out or very limited. Apparently, they're saying he's going to play for sure, but it might be a situation where he goes in and plays, doesn't feel as good on it. Because at the end of in their game last week, he got hurt, came back in, and then they ended up moving away from him again, which just tells you that obviously he was wanting to tough it out and just couldn't do it. But apparently the rumor is it's high ankle, which in most situations is a few week, type deal. It's not a super quick
They can
recovery.
shoot him up, they can wrap him up, and he can play. But the longer they do that, then the longer the rehab and the more damage they're doing to that high ankle sprain. Very difficult. But the best ability, folks, is availability. And if you catch the people right, if you want to have momentum and a good season, just catch some teams the week that they're banged up, especially at key positions.
Absolutely. And after they didn't look great last week, just as a whole team, I think we got our confidence up a little bit. That doesn't mean because we went and beat up on Arkansas State, doesn't mean that we're going to go in and play really good against Ole Miss. But I just would rather be coming out of that situation than playing a couple scary games against the little teams and then going and playing Ole Miss. I think it's good for at least the mentality. But I think we got a chance to win down there. I'm not going to sit here and say that I really think that we will, but I'm not out on us going down there and winning that game, especially if their quarterback's hurt. And I think, honestly, he's really talented, but he likes to throw interceptions himself, so I'm not even out on us if he plays. I think it's one of those games that you might get a few interceptions or a couple turnovers and keep you in it.
That's the key.
I think that's going to happen I think there's a good chance of that happening with either one of their quarterbacks, but I really do think we can go down there and beat them, and nothing would make me happier than beating Lane Kiffin, especially after the whole deal with our players leaving for Ole Miss and him liking there was a tweet that said we were just the Ole Miss farm team, and he liked it and then took it down. Just all the whole
Very
deal.
polarizing, and young people love him. Fans love him if he coaches for them, hate him if he coaches against them, because that's the kind of things that he says, and he's not scared. But I have to tell you that when it comes to Arkansas Ole Miss, the last 5 or 6 games have been absolute blowouts for either side.
Mm-hmm.
They hadn't been close.
No.
So they went through about an 8 to 10 year period to where whoever was favored by over 5, you just took, because every game was close.
Yeah.
But now it looks like that it's 42-7 one way, and the next year it's 42-17, and the next year it's 49-14. So I can't remember last year's score, but I can tell you over the last 5 or 6 years there's been a lot of blowouts in that game.
I want to say we played them good last year, but Talon got hurt. I remember that. And then I thought it was a close game. I could be misremembering.
It might have been.
But it should be a close game this year. I feel like we're not bad enough that we should get blown out. I know it can happen. It probably will happen in some games this year. I'm not naive enough to think that, we're going to play great against everyone. It feels like they're taking a little bit of a step down from last year, and it feels like we should at least be where we were, if not taking a tad step up. But it will be – I'm really interested in seeing how the size – we talked about kind of last week, the defensive line. Our receivers are really small. They're talented and quick. They seem like they've got good hands and everything, but they're just really undersized. I'm intrigued to see us against a SEC team for the first time this year to see if that's going to bite us in the butt really bad or if they're just playmakers. And, a lot of those times those littler guys can still get it done. They just aren't as physical, and I hope that's the case for us. But when you look, even against A-State, when you look at our wideouts on the field, they just look little. And we got a couple guys who are really little, really, really small, but I think that we can play them good. I think we can win.
That's what Phee would have been doing. He'd have been a slot receiver out there, especially in an RPO, and especially when I get the option whether the cornerback or safety's playing on the inside leverage or outside leverage, and I can cut either way. I know where I'm going. He doesn't. If the quarterback can deliver the ball at the right time, then those little fellas are like, they're just like water bugs on water. You do need one deep threat, but like we talked about last night, I think Arkansas is light on the offensive line and defensive line, and I believe that you're going to come up against an SEC team. Turnovers will be the key. If you believe Arkansas wins the turnover battle, they certainly can score, and Arkansas can certainly score. So if their defense holds up against that offense of Ole Miss, then you've got a really good chance to win if you win the turnover battle.
I agree, and I think our offensive line may be a little better than I thought they were going to be, but I think the defensive line is rough. So we'll see. I'm excited to watch it, excited and nervous, but it should be a good game.
If Ole Miss lines up with a hurt quarterback and runs the ball 60 times and wins by 3 touchdowns, you'll find out what I've been worried about. Because that defensive line to me does not look like that they're going to be holding up against Texas, LSU, Alabama, Tennessee, Notre Dame.
Nope.
And Ole Miss. Let me just tell you something, folks. They've got some talent, and they're not happy that they were left out of the playoffs last year, and so they're going to give it their all at home. They expect to win, but if Arkansas wins the turnover battle with that offense, if they can actually keep Mr. Green dry and off the ground, because if he starts having happy feet and throws with no accuracy, they'll have 2 turnovers.
100%, and that's very possible. It's very possible. Would not surprise me one bit. I'm just hoping we can get it done. I got confidence in our offense. I think we can put points on the board. I got no idea how to feel about defense, but we'll see.
Well, you got A&M and Notre Dame this week. What do you think about A&M and Notre Dame? I believe that line is 4.5.
Oh, it may have even. I think it's higher than that. I think it's 6.5.
Okay.
Or something like that. But
Notre Dame minus 6.5 in South Bend, Indiana.
I think that
SEC
might
Homer. SEC Homer.
That might be my favorite
SEC Homer
pick of the week for upsets.
Oh my goodness, he wants to play the money line on the Aggies.
I won't bet
on the Aggies.
I won't bet the money line.
Jiminy Cricket.
Listen to me. I'm putting it on the record. I'm putting it on the record right now.
On the record.
All you people out there, I'm not betting money line, but I do think that Texas A&M can win that game. I think they should win the game. Notre Dame did not look good the first time I watched them.
He said the same thing about Mississippi State last week, and Phee was wrong, and he looked like a hero. He looked like the guru.
That's not my own. There's a few upsets I really like this week, but that's one I think A&M can win that game. I'm pretty confident. And yes, I'm an SEC homer.
A&M to upset the Aggies, to go to South Bend and upset Notre Dame as they lost last week against Miami. They will then be 0-2 for the start of the year.
Yep. And I think it's possible. I think
anything's possible, Guru. You don't make a living doing this with anything's possible. Choose a side.
Oh, I picked my side.
Okay, what is it?
A&M.
A&M plus 6.5.
Yes, and I like them to win, but I'm betting 6.5.
Thank you so much. What is your next game, Mr. Guru?
Colorado and Houston is my first one I got. Not 2 teams that a bunch of people care a lot about, but Houston.
Now the Buffaloes of Colorado, where are they playing?
I think they're playing at Houston.
And the Cougars of Houston, that's in Houston. Now, what is the line?
4.5. Houston's a favorite.
Houston's a favorite by 4.5. Now, what is your analysis, Guru?
I think Colorado wins that game outright, and I think they obviously cover 4.5. I'll probably do the same thing and bet that they'll cover the 4.5, but I think they win that game. Houston, what are we doing here? Houston is not a football school. I don't know where. I don't know. I mean, I guess
Andre Ware, and the gunslinger. He doesn't remember those days.
I feel like
they're the ones that pioneered what they see today.
I feel like we're overcompensating for the hype we've been giving Colorado for the last 2 or 3 years, and now we're all of a sudden doing the complete opposite. But in a situation where I don't care how I feel or how anyone feels about Colorado as a program, any situation where the talent that's been going to Colorado is playing against the Houston Cougars football team, I believe that I'm just going to have to go with Colorado in that game. I just can't.
He has said absolutely nothing to tell me to bet either way. He can't tell me anything about Colorado except that Deion's coming off of a cancer bout, and they lost Travis Hunter and his son. And I have to tell you, Houston had looked very sloppy in their win.
I was about to say, let me cheat and get on my phone because I know Colorado's first week.
There ain't nothing wrong. Fee cheats all the time with his phone. He does way too much just to do it by memory.
Let's see. I think it was. I'm trying to remember who they lost to the first week, but it was a respectable team, and I think they got too much flack for it.
All right, Spanky. Well, I can tell you what. You keep looking, and I'll keep talking.
Keep it going.
Because that one thing about the Fee is he can nickel and dime and two-line rhyme any day he wants to, and twice on Thursday. That's what I tell them. They always ask me, Fee, can you do this? I say, only on Thursday. It's never on that Thursday, see. Fee, will you do this? Only on Thursdays. I said it all my life, and unless it's Thursday, and then I don't say it. So it's amazing to me that he's only got 3 sheets of paper there, and instead he's looking to tell you who somebody played last week on the Houston Cougars. I don't know. Phi Slamma Jamma in basketball won me a little bit of money back in the day, and then of course I had Mr. Valvano at North Carolina State with Sidney Lowe and Mr. Wittenberg upsetting Phi Slamma Jamma. And Jim Valvano running around that court screaming and yelling and happy. One of the most fantastic sports moments that I've witnessed when I was younger. That would have been '84. I'd have been, a sophomore in college. I probably played 5 dimes on that game. And it was just having a great time with life that night when he hit that shot at the buzzer, baby. Of course, I'd already won the game because, it was like minus 9.5. I mean, plus 9. I had plus 9.5. And so.
If we're talking about basketball, it's a whole different discussion. I respect Houston as a basketball team. As a football team, I absolutely do not respect Houston.
He was just filling.
But I appreciate it. And I found it.
Okay, thank you.
But they lost to Georgia Tech week 1 by a touchdown.
The Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech.
And Georgia Tech has been a very respectable football program the last couple of years.
The Rambling Wreck of Georgia Tech.
Keep going.
I like the mascot with the bumblebee. And, the old Studebaker car, that white.
Great colors.
Great color schemes.
But they lost to Georgia Tech week 1, and they came out and whooped Delaware last week, which.
So this is their third game for Colorado or for Houston?
For both. But I don't really care what Houston's done. I think Colorado's not a bad football team.
I think his bias, folks, is against Houston. He wants Colorado
to win
on the money line.
I'm going to bet the spread, but yes.
Okay, and he's going to bet the spread, which is?
4.5. Houston's a 4.5 point favorite.
He wants the Buffaloes with Deion as the coach. Prime time goes plus 4.5 going into Houston and playing the Cougars, which aren't a bad football team.
They're very good football team.
Been very good lately. So they're in the Big 12 now. Of course, who isn't in the Big 12 now?
It's the Big 24 at this point.
Okay. Go ahead. And the Big 10's 16.
Exactly.
So
why do we have numbers?
It's tough to do math.
Why do we have numbers attached to these?
It's a tradition. It was the Big 8, and then they went to the Big 12. Now they've got 16. It was the Big 10, then they went to 12. Now they've got 16. But they still call it the Big 10. They call it the Big 12. And Facebook, just look at the SEC, Southeastern Conference. You don't have to change much.
It's a smart man. I agree. You're preaching. I got another game.
CMG, that's not Mark. That is Sir Isaac the Guru, and this is a sports show.
Oh, I didn't even see the chat up there. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's very seldom do we look.
Yeah, I haven't been, but now it makes me want to look.
Oh, and CMG says sending love to my Louisville.
Louisville's good.
Yeah, doesn't Louisville have one of your favorite running backs?
Running backs, yeah, they do. Louisville's looked good.
Yeah.
I hate to break it to CMG. I don't know that it'll mean anything, but
CMG won $100 from Phee as the very first comment ever on the Phee Smee Network. CMG watches on a lot of different platforms. We appreciate you, and thank you so much for the opportunity for you to tune in and to view second episode of Fee's Sports Ball with Sir Isaac the Guru. And by the way, the term sports ball, CMG, is a tribute to Mark, because Phee would never call any kind of sport a sports ball. But I thought instead of, if we want to do a basketball show, we don't need to change it from football to basketball. So I liked that tribute to someone who knows nothing about sports except cross country. And but he couldn't tell you, besides Tom Brady, he might be able to tell you that, but he wouldn't be able to tell you the Louisville mascot. That's how much he cares about sports. But one thing about it is, when he says sports ball, I think it's funny. So that's a tribute to Mark for Fee's Sports Ball. Go ahead now, Sir Isaac, and talk a little trash and have a good time with your plays or your games of the week and your picks of the week for college football.
So far, we got Colorado plus 4.5 at Houston. I've got Arkansas plus 7.5 at Ole Miss.
He likes the hook. Is it 7.5 now?
I think it's gone down, but when I bet it early, and I think I got it at 7.5.
7.5 is a much better play, folks. Remember that the 4s and the 7s and the 3s, you got to always pay attention to that, because a field goals and touchdowns, and then those 21-17s and those 28-24s, they'll jump right up there and get you if you don't get that half point.
Oh yeah, because something's going to happen, and it's how the world works.
No, nothing touchdowns. You just never can. You never can relax. You're up 32-7, and it's in the fourth quarter with 4 minutes left. Or just take a look at Baltimore at Buffalo. Besides young ladies looking at Josh Allen's bootay, I can tell you that 6'5" boy just brought them back with touchdowns. A 41-40. With that first time Baltimore's ever scored 40 and lost. First time an NFL team has been down by 15 with 4 minutes left and won. What a great game, as we'll get into later. But I have to tell you, those are the type of games that the Guru, when he brings up something and try to slip something in on us like he just did with Lamar, then we have to bring it up.
No, that was a great. We'll talk about that game in a bit for sure. That game was electric. But as long as you don't put Patrick Mahomes in front of Josh Allen, he can seem to get those done. You just put Patrick Mahomes on the other side, it just goes the other way.
Kind of like Joe Burrows and Myles Garrett.
Oh, my gosh.
Back to your college picks, Guru. I don't mean to mislead you down a rabbit hole.
So we got A&M plus 6.5 versus Notre Dame. Colorado plus 4.5 versus Houston. Arkansas plus 7.5 versus Ole Miss. Then the last few aren't as exciting, but I've got Memphis minus 3.5 versus Troy. I think Troy is benefiting a lot on that line from the way the Clemson game went. Obviously, that makes sense. Clemson's supposed to be really good, and Troy played them well, but I think that was more of a testament to Clemson than it was to Troy, and Memphis is good enough that I think they can win by more than 3.5. Georgia and Tennessee, I think just for fun I'm betting Georgia minus 3.5, but I don't feel great about that. That should be a great football game.
Good old Rocky Top, Tennessee.
If it was a night game too.
Rocky Top, Tennessee. I'm here to tell you, folks, when you go into the Rocky Top, Georgia's a better football team. Tennessee's reloading. But when you get 3.5 at home in front of 106,000, with those, I love them, orange and white checkered end zones. It's going to be an electric football game that's worth watching if you don't play a dime on it.
Absolutely. And if, like I was about to say, if it was a night game, I think that I would feel the opposite direction. Not that there's going to be any less people there, but I've seen a couple night games in Tennessee, and they look terrifying to me. So the fact that they're going to have some daylight, for some weird reason in my stupid brain, that makes me feel like I'm going to go with Georgia.
Remember, it's the East Coast, so they're an hour ahead of us. And if that game starts at 2:30, it'll be night before it's over. But like at LSU, Tennessee tends to play better at night.
Yep.
So that Sir Isaac, just out of the thin air, comes up with something that Phee obviously knows a lot about from the history of Phee in theology.
I think I got lucky with my take, but I'm glad to know it's right.
Good.
The instinct works good for me
It's
sometimes.
not like we put a lot of show notes out this rascal. He brings 3 pages and doesn't tell me what there are. So, hey, I'm going on it blind, but so far so good with Sir Isaac because he just keeps nailing it. Go ahead with your other one.
I'll try to keep it up. Iowa State versus Arkansas State. I'm going with the big spread again. Forgive me. But Iowa State's minus 20.5 versus Arkansas State. And after watching us play Arkansas State last week, they're not good. No good. No bueno.
Iowa State beats in-state rival Iowa 16-13. They don't look like either one of them have defenses. Iowa always offenses. Iowa always has a good defense. I would tell you that Iowa State's explosive. They'll cover that 20.5. So that's a whole lot better knucklehead than 36.5.
It still feels bad. It
20
feels
and a half
bad.
now that's 3 touchdowns. 36.5, you start getting into, hey, it could be 65-3 at the half. I thought Arkansas was going to beat that poor team from Alabama A&M. I thought it was going to be 35-7 at the half.
Yeah.
It was 28-7.
I think it should be a reasonable spread, but I hate anything that big. I normally stay away from them, but
20.5 is not a big spread, and that is a winner.
I hope so. USF and Miami, I'm kind of cheating on the spread bets here, and I'm going with an under on the total points.
What is that?
57.5.
So he likes the under 57.5 in the Miami.
USF.
That's University of Central Florida.
Yep.
Both of those schools will score a lot. What is the line?
57.5. USF through 2 weeks has held their 2 opponents to 23 combined points, and that was Boise State and Florida. So I think they've actually got a pretty good defense. Played great against both those.
You're going to lose that game because of how many points South Florida scores. Because Miami with that quarterback they're going to score 28.
I like it.
So
I'm rocking with it. I'm confident in it.
He's confident, but based on his Boise States and his Houston's, but that's an in-state rivalry right there. And University of Central Florida can play. They're not going to win. Miami will beat them. But 53.5, both those teams will score.
They might come out and win the game after. I mean, coming off a Florida win.
What is the line?
I didn't even put what the line is. Miami's a big favorite.
Then play
I am, but
well,
I'm not
you
putting
should
that
have
in
had it
my. I'm
down
not
then.
putting that in my official picks.
Oh,
I like the under.
goodness
I'm trying to
gracious.
put winners.
Now he's like his fantasy leagues. What do you go in fantasy this week? 1-2 or 2-1 or what?
This week,
Yeah.
2-1.
2-1. So he's a happy camper. He played in 3 leagues. Got beat in the league he plays with me. What am I? I'm 1-0.
Not for long. Don't worry about me in that league.
I'm 1-0.
Don't worry about me in that league. And I'm worried about you in that league.
He's already given up. I mean, I tell you, he's already given up, folks. He's got 2 wins. He's 1-1. He's 1-0 in 2 leagues, and he's 0-1 in my league. See, that's how that goes with Phee. Go ahead.
Not worried about it. That was all the ones I had for college. And then my upsets, which I already talked about all of them but one. I've got Colorado money line versus Houston, A&M money line versus Notre Dame, Duke and Tulane. Duke's a 1.5 point dog to Tulane, and I think Duke just got hammered by Illinois last week. Tulane has not looked as good as they've been the last couple years. The first 2 weeks, and I think Duke's got.
How much of the Tulane games have you watched?
Not watched. I'm not going to sit here and act like I've watched, but score wise, they're like last year. They were everyone's betting favorite to cover spreads because they were rolling and beating people by 30 points every week.
Okay.
This year they have not done that, and they've been playing the same caliber of schools.
Again,
but it's more of a
Blue Devils of Duke are not known. They're like Vanderbilt football, so you get a lot of love on the line there. And if they're playing in New Orleans with Tulane, Tulane's been able to score. Duke's coming off a loss that, again, Illinois is always pretenders to me. Will always be pretenders to me until they go and win 10. Because I don't see how they win 7, but they seem to go to a bowl every year, and that's good for Illinois. This is Dick Butkus' alma mater, and they hadn't been good since he left.
Bielema's got the same bar of success as he had at Arkansas.
That's right. That's exactly right.
But Duke wins that game.
Okay.
So
you have Duke winning at Tulane.
Yep.
Or are they playing in Durham.
I believe they're playing in Tulane.
If they're playing in Tulane, you want the plus 1.5, or you want them outright in the money line. Duke money line at Tulane.
Yep, and then I've got Georgia Tech money line versus Clemson. Don't feel
the rambling wreck of Georgia Tech. Now you got these rascals beating Clemson. Where are they playing?
at Clemson.
Oh, you okay.
I don't feel great about that one, but
You don't?
But I'm fading Clemson. Fading Clemson hard
He's just
because
down
Cade
on that
Klubnik,
quarterback, boy. He's down on him.
not good. Not good.
All right.
He's not good.
He looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane.
And you know what the bad thing about my brain is? I don't know. You may not know this. This may be breaking information to you.
It'll be breaking information if he doesn't know anything.
Some people in my life accuse me of being stubborn, which is crazy to me.
Yes.
That just seems kind of hard to believe.
Well,
but
you're very easygoing. There's not a lot of boundaries that he won't just get into that gray area with. Folks, he might be what they would call the mule of the fort, because he is one of the most stubborn individuals that I've ever seen. Especially when it's in athletic competitions. He just doesn't like anything less than perfection on his part. And he's getting much better. I've heard it through the wire. The little birdies are saying to me, Phee, Sir Isaac is getting much better in pickleball. He's getting the reps. I don't think you want any of him. And I always say, we won't know until we know.
yeah, I need a little more time. I'm working on it. I'm getting there.
Ask him how about I spanked him the first time we played.
I don't remember that happening. I'm telling you right now, it didn't happen.
Remember?
But where I'm going with that is, even though I don't believe that I'm stubborn, no one's ever told me that before. But if Clemson comes out and hammers Georgia Tech and Cade Klubnik puts on the best quarterback performance of all time, guess what I'm going to be sitting here saying next week?
You'll be eating crow.
Nope. I'm going to be saying that Clemson is a fraud and that Cade Klubnik is bad because I'm stubborn. And I will stand on that take. I believe it.
Clemson is 12-1 this year, like Phee predicted, or
Ask me.
11-1, as he predicted, after the very first week, when they were 0-0, they will lose the first week and won't lose again.
And ask me what I'm going to be saying into the college football playoff.
You're going to say, Phee, you're the guru, and I am really stubborn about Clemson because Clemson's going to lose the first round. They shouldn't get in. They're frauds. They play in this terrible ACC. And I'm going to say I totally agree with everything, but they are 11-1, and they are the winner of the ACC. Therefore, whether you think they're up, down, or sideways, they get in.
I think they're going to be struggling to make the Zaxby's Bowl by the end of this year. Is what I'm thinking.
Wreck of Georgia Tech. I just tell you one thing: Georgia Tech just never like to play them, never like to play against them. I just don't like. I don't ever get good feelings in football because of the offense they run. I mean, they had Calvin Johnson as the only wide receiver while they were running the dadgum wishbone in the 90s, in 2000s. And how do you think he made All-American? Every time they threw it, it was one-on-one coverage since they were running the triple option.
Smart game plan.
And they did it for 30 years. Them and Rice, they ran the wishbone for every other team got away from it in 1980, and they're still running it today. So,
and they're going to run it all over Clemson is what they're going to do.
Okay, well, Clemson's got a big. They normally have some athletes on the defensive line, and those engineers at Georgia Tech normally don't, hold up for 4 quarters against them. Clemson will show up and show out against Georgia Tech this week, and you just hear it at the Phee Sports Ball with Sir Isaac the Guru. He takes the rambling wreck of Georgia Tech.
I do. So far, I'm undefeated, and I'm just going to say this while it's true. I'm undefeated on upset picks so far, and it's been 1 week, so we don't have to discuss that. It's only been 2.
In a short period of time, he's undefeated, and he's looking at perfection. Folks, let me tell you something. When momentum starts, whether it's early or whether it's late, you need to jump on it then, because you don't ever want to play against a streak. You want to be playing with streaks. So I've seen folks go 2-4 and 2-4, but if they pick an upset for 8 weeks in a row, they're 7-1. So you might get with it, and if you start picking 8 a week, then good luck with that.
I strongly considered it.
Again, but if you've got 2 or 3 you feel strong about it, get after it and tell the viewers out there in the world what Sir Isaac the Guru thinks his upsets, with a plural, are of the week.
That's your 4 right there. Colorado's beating Houston, A&M's beating Notre Dame, Duke's beating Tulane, and Georgia Tech's beating Clemson.
You heard it right here, folks. He says it so fast, he's going to say it slow again. I know you're wanting to know right here, right now. Here are his upsets pick of the week.
Colorado is going to beat Houston this weekend.
And the line.
Doesn't matter. I think it's 1.5, 4.5. Houston's a 4.5-point favorite.
He wants the money line.
And that's
folks.
a Friday game, I think, too.
Okay.
So we get to see that one early. I'll get the momentum will get going before Saturday
Dogs
even
that are
starts.
going to win this week. Here we go.
Colorado versus Houston, 4.5-point dogs. A&M is a 6.5-point dog to Notre Dame. I think they win that game. Duke is a 1.5-point dog to Tulane. They're going to win that game. And Georgia Tech, I don't remember the line on that game, but it also doesn't matter because they're going to win that game too. Look it up for me.
You could keep talking about why you believe that, and I will look it up for you.
It's 100% revolves around Clemson, and Georgia Tech has been pretty solid the last couple of years. But I'm going to make Clemson prove me wrong is what I'm going to do. I think Cade Klubnik isn't very good. I think that they're overrated again. They tried to hype them up. Like I said, their PR team deserves to win an award for making me believe at the beginning of the year that this was their time. But until they prove me wrong, I'm fading them.
You're going to continue to fade them.
I'm fading them.
Houston is 4.
Yep.
And as go, Clemson is a 3-point favorite at Georgia Tech.
3-point? Give me Georgia Tech. Money line.
Georgia Tech money line. You heard it right here. The Guru says he's not scared, folks. He's going to ride that horse all the way to the finish line. Whoever is on Clemson, he's going to race against him.
Apparently you pronounce Louisville well.
Louisville. Louisville. I wouldn't say Louisville like these knuckleheads. Louisville. Because I love the Louisville Cardinals. The Louisville Cardinals have been so good to me throughout the years in basketball and baseball and football. I mean, I'm just telling you, I grew up, I had only had 3 channels. They were out of Memphis. It was Memphis State versus Louisville was the game of the year. Dr. Duncanstein, Darrell Griffith. Look him up, folks. He was something else. Then you had Never Nervous Purvis Ellison. Oh, he could play too. I'm not here to tell you, but them dadgum Memphis State Tigers. I did win a first place at basketball camp at Memphis State when I was a kid. So thank you.
I believe it.
I threw that in there. So, you know, all on the first page of Commercial Appeal. I think my mother still had that somewhere. Yeah, they didn't lose that stuff. But anyway, I love Louisville, and I even like the name of their facility. You know what that is?
I don't.
It's the Yummy. Remember what's this? Yum Yum.
Yum Yum?
Yeah. Well, there's a brand and
the sauce?
No, it's not the Yum Yum sauce. They're all. Hey, CMG, talk to me, baby, about. I hope he's not. Oh yeah. Talk to me about what that arena is in Louisville. Yeah, I think it's the Yum Yum Center, but I might be wrong.
That would be fantastic if it was, but I maybe need to brush
Are you
up on
through
my.
with your dadgum upsets? You had 4 of them.
I'm through.
And so you're done with them. Let's moving on to professional football week 2. And week 1, we've already mentioned the game with Buffalo and Baltimore. We also probably need to talk about the other game that was Monday night. The Chicago Bears, and it was 17-6 when I walked in here to do night, and when I walked out, it was 27. I don't know what happened, but Caleb Williams looked like my man Caleb Williams would be in the first half, but also obviously JJ put on a show.
That's such a.
I was wrong on JJ and Bo so far.
It's crazy because he's just one of those people. He's kind of like Brock Purdy to me, where when you watch him play, he doesn't just jump off the screen and look great, but he just wins. Like he just wins. I think someone said the other day he's had 3 losses in his football career, I believe. High school, college, and obviously NFL now, but I think he has 3 losses as a starting quarterback in his football career. But he doesn't look crazy good to me, but you got to respect it. He found a way to get it done, and I feel so bad for Bears fans because the entire offseason they complained about their coaching staff. They get in the new coach. They're all excited about it. They think that he's going to unlock Caleb Williams, and he might. There's a lot of time left. It's week 1. But even just the way that game went, Caleb Williams' first drive, it was a lot of check downs and everything, but he looked really good. Don't think he had an incomplete pass in the first drive. They looked good at the point that it was. What did you say the score was? 17-6.
17-6, and
at that point
when
in the
I walked
game,
into night, and I was thinking, well, I mean, they've got to be happy with Caleb. I walked out, and everybody was in. They were interviewing JJ.
Yeah, and at that point in the game, it just felt like it was completely out of hand. JJ McCarthy threw a terrible pick 6. It was a horrible throw. It just felt like the game should have been over, and then the Bears just stalled out hard. And then he remembered that he could play football, JJ McCarthy, and then he started making throws. He also remembered, and this is the crazy part to me, that Justin Jefferson is really good at football.
There's the key that I was going to try to bring up. How much should they be leaning on my boy? Mr. Jefferson of the Justin can play with anybody that's ever played in the league.
100%. Throw the football his direction. In the beginning of the game, they didn't. I don't even know if he had a target through the first few drives. And then all of a sudden, again, it's one of those goofy things when you watch as a sports fan where
sometimes it takes them longer to catch on what you already know.
That's what I'm saying. And you know that they know what they're doing. But at the same time, you're sitting here going, you have one of the best receivers so far at this point in his career that's ever played, and you're not throwing the football in his direction. I don't care if you think he's covered or not. Throw the football in the man's direction. He's going to catch the ball.
The theology of sports is this. A lot of times those coaches on a staff, they are taught and their job is to micromanage specific game plans throughout the week. And as educated as Sir Isaac the Guru and my children are, based on the repetition and knowing the sport and understanding math and angles, from a macro view, it takes people a lot longer, the coaches a lot longer, to actually realize what you're realizing because you're focused on one television watching the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
You're not worrying about time management. To you, you don't need 10 people in your ear. You've watched it enough to where you know, hey, it's real simple when I need to call a timeout.
Yeah.
But so many NFL coaches mess up the time management late in games that cost them games every year that people with knowledge of the game don't understand because of that micromanaging in that moment. They miss the game.
Yep.
Remember, folks, I don't know if you play, but people play the game for one reason, not for the fun of it and not for the money. They play the games to win. You either walk out of there in a business meeting as a winner or a loser. And you either walk off that field or that diamond or that court as a winner or a loser. And the same thing with the ice and same thing with soccer in any sport. You're looking at competitive individuals that signed up to battle for victory.
Yep.
And when that doesn't happen, it's hard for people like yourself to sit there and say, any idiot would have known to call the timeout with 43 seconds left. How did he cost his team 28 seconds running the clock off, and then is that the 2 with no timeouts left? Down by 4? Okay, well, good luck to you.
Yeah.
And so the Dallas Cowboy coach could coach at Green Bay, but he had about a couple of years ago, he had like 3 games where the time management almost cost him his job.
Remember Les Miles?
So Les Miles was, again, just he needs help,
Yep.
but obviously can coach football.
I think one of the videos I was watching the other day was making fun of like clock management with coaches, and they brought up something super funny that I agree with. They said every single college football team or every single football team in America needs to hire a kid who has played Madden their whole life and never been around the actual game of football, and their entire job needs to be clock management.
They've got the analytics folks that do just that. are nerds that do nothing but numbers, but yet they might need to add an additional staff member for a video gamer that could actually utilize time management
Just as
skills.
simple as just timeouts. That's all they need to focus on, because like you said, it is fair when you get lost in the whole course of the game. I do understand that you've got a lot more on your mind, and sometimes it's easy to lose track, but
Communication, folks, is the key. You do realize that the defensive cornerback, the secondary coach, is not telling the head coach anything unless he's got an injury or a problem. The people are talking in his ear or in the booth, and they're directing him based on an overall view from the booth. And what you do is in communications, you have several different people talking, and then the offense, normally the offensive coordinator these days are making that final decision. It takes a lot of responsibility, except the game time management of the head coach. If the defensive coordinator is calling the defense plays and the offensive coordinator is calling the offense plays, there's no excuse for the head coach to be able to not deal with time management issues.
I agree.
Now, if he's calling the plays, then I get that. Or if he's calling the defense plays, then I get that.
Then have a guy that does it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that
great
game,
week of football, huh?
It was, and I was gonna say I need to request something from you,
okay,
and anyone else who knows me. Everyone that knows me, listen to me right now. Somebody, if I ever talk about betting on the Bengals in Week 1 of the NFL ever again,
the Bengals,
any time I ever talk about it again, someone stop me. Stop me.
The Bengals.
Don't let me do it.
The Bengals.
I'm tired of it.
At least they won. Sorry,
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
Won. I mean,
7 yards in the second half.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Myles Garrett has some kind of games against Joe Burrows. I don't understand it, but it's just real. Energy is different. Matchups are different. Some teams play better. Some players play better against certain teams. Everybody has a favorite team to play against. Everybody has a worse team to play against. So it happens. I don't understand it, but it happens, Guru.
7 yards. Do we need to start listing off the people on that field in the black and orange uniforms? I think we should.
Jamar Chase, guaranteed number one in the fantasy football.
Keep naming them. Keep naming them.
Guru and everybody else.
Well, he will be, first of all.
And Joe Burrows. I picked up Joe Ford. He had 1.5 points for me sitting on my bench because of a boy named Sampson comes in, and he looked like he's been spending time with Delilah. I don't understand that.
7 yards. That's all I got to say. 7 yards.
Cincinnati wins. They're 1-0, move to the next week. But, hey, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers scoring 32 points against the Jets, and Justin Fields scoring 30 or 20. I mean, both those teams switched quarterbacks from last year, and both those quarterbacks had what I would call a very good day. I don't understand how Pittsburgh's defense, of course, Phee drafted them, has -7 the first week, gives up that many points against the Jets.
I know how. You want me to explain how?
Look in the camera and tell me, Phee, why I picked the Pittsburgh Steelers and they gave up that many to the Jets.
Because the Pittsburgh Steelers defense has watched Justin Fields play football for a year. And they saw what everyone else saw, which is that man did not play good in Pittsburgh. So I think they were caught a little bit off guard by all of Justin Fields. But at the end of that game, if I'm the Steelers and seeing all the throws that Aaron Rodgers was making, I mean, he made every throw that he should be able to make. His footwork, maybe he didn't look like he was as mobile, but at the end of the day, you got to figure out when it's age and when it's an injury, but still.
And it's both in this case, and it's okay. You can adapt with that arm.
It is okay.
And that vision.
When the throws he was making was the first time I've seen him make those throws in the last 2 years. And I mean, if I'm Pittsburgh and I'm seeing him make those plays, I'm so excited.
You're doing this right here.
Absolutely. And DK Metcalf didn't even have like a great game, but he looked great every time he touched the ball. No, I would be, if I'm the Jets.
DK Metcalf, he gets 70 yards, no touchdowns for me. I got a real problem with this fantasy football team. I got 4 people that you got to play, and one's going to always set out. This week I set out Zay, which teamed with Lamar for 40. He had 28 sitting on my bench, and I had 3 players out there, DK, Neighbors, and McConkey.
Lad McConkey.
McConkey. All right, boy, that's a hard one for Phee. Tongue twister, half Elvis, half Lisp. By the way, boys, McConkey. None of them scoring touchdowns for me this last week.
But they all got the ball thrown to them a lot.
But Aaron Rodgers looked good. The Jets offense looked good. The Pittsburgh Steelers defense sucked. But anyway,
the Jets are going to be in trouble. They're going to have the problem is,
I'll tell you, you're going to be in trouble with the Giants. They've got a great defense, and if Russell Wilson does not show up in week 2, you're going to have a problem in the Big Apple.
They got to get that man off the field. He's been so terrible for the last 2 years. I can't watch him play football. If they don't put either Jackson Dart or throw Jameis, why is Jameis not a starting quarterback in the NFL somewhere?
Somebody's got something on Jameis because every time he comes out there, he throws for 4,000 yards. Now, what the big knock on is he'd throw for 35 touchdowns and throw for 21 interceptions.
But I would take that.
I mean, but then he cleaned that up, I believe, at Cleveland for at least a year, and then they moved away from him. But the key there is Jackson Dart. He's a steal in that draft. He can make every throw. He started at USC, California high school career that was unbelievable, and you'll find that Jackson Dart will be the Giants' quarterback when they figure out what Fee's been telling them since he left Seattle, and it was way overrated. It reminds me of Dak Prescott so much. It just breaks. There's just two parallels there. But
at this point, that's an insult to Dak Prescott.
He's got it's always that's what they accuse me of. But anyway, bottom line is he's got a beautiful model wife. He's got a huge contract. He won a Super Bowl in Seattle. He goes to Denver and there's a complete problem. And then now he goes to Pittsburgh for $1 because Denver's paying his contract. So he went for $1. And split time with Justin Fields, and again, Tomlin figures out a way to go 500 with those quarterbacks. And then Fields goes to the Jets, and our boy Wilson goes to the Giants. So they're in the same town again, or city again. And to me, they're going to figure it out sooner or later. Jackson Dart is the answer in the Giants, just like I told them. My boy Jones, that lights out at Indianapolis last week. I told him last week, remember. So let me just say, Daniel Jones is a quarterback, so is Jackson Dart.
I think any answer is the answer better than Russell Wilson. I don't care who it is. Get that man off the football field. I'm tired of watching him throw a football. I really am. When you watch Jameis play, I don't care if he throws for 350 yards and 3 picks. I'd rather watch someone sling it around than watch Russell Wilson throw the football. I can't do it anymore. I'm not going to watch. I mean, Malik Neighbors is one of the most electric young talents in the league. He threw the ball at him 12 times.
He's Jamar Chase Jr. right now.
It's crazy. I think he had 5 catchable balls, and he caught all of them.
Again, I have him too, folks. I just, the quarterback concerns me there. Well, I'm sure we're missing some other good games. The Falcons, I thought, played a really good game with Tampa Bay. That was an interesting game when I watched those highlights. The Denver folks surprised me, but as my play of the week last week, I told them whoever plays Miami, Miami didn't look like that. They got the memo that they had a game, so I won that one big.
I was about to say, let's wait on calling the Daniel Jones call yet. I'm not saying I disagree, but Miami.
He doesn't have the faith. See, faith is something hoped for, not yet seen. He wants to see more. He wants to see signs and wonders. When the boy's 8-2, then he'll jump on board. You got to get out there on the branch like he kind of is this week on some of his upsets. A&M outright in South Bend. Woo! Jiminy Cricket.
Well, something's got to give. You had 2 great takes, but we got to figure out which one's more right. You said Dolphins, fade the Dolphins. I agree. You said Daniel Jones is better than people think. Daniel Jones played the Dolphins, who looked like the worst football team in America, and they made Daniel Jones look like Tom Brady. And Daniel Jones,
stay here on the Phee Me Network. He'll just do one of those a week for you. It's real simple for free.
Daniel Jones is. They made him look so good.
Daniel Jones is a very athletic. He needs reps. He needs to be able to read defenses in real time. He can make every throw. He can run with his feet. He can create time and space. He just I mean, it's just a different game out there when you've got 0.3 seconds to look off one target, look to another one. With folks that are 6'6", running as full speed to try to get you, you got people stepping on you. You got to have to slide. It's not an easy position to play for people to be dogging folks that are playing in the NFL. So I have to tell you, Daniel Jones is an athlete that will learn to play quarterback if he's in the right system. I would hand the ball off to Jonathan Taylor a little more. But again, he's got Jonathan Taylor and he didn't score.
They will. I think they just didn't need to. Because I think they started off using him a ton early, and then that game was just not a good game. But I do agree, and I love watching quarterbacks get out of terrible situations too. Like Daniel Jones is one, obviously, that it was horrible in New York. I think they had one year where they were kind of competitive, but I like watching, or Sam Darnold was another one last year. He finally gets to a spot where he feels more free, has more talent around him. I think it's fun seeing those situations. So I'm not a Daniel Jones. I'm not against Daniel Jones, but I am excited to see how the year goes because he seems like he's finally in a better situation, and it'll be cool to see if he can put it together there. So far, it looked good, and the Dolphins are really bad. I think they're a favorite this week too.
Nobody does it better.
They're really
Makes me feel sad for the rest. Nobody does it half as good as Phee. Baby, baby. Oh, yes. Phee's the best.
That was.
What do you think about that, Sir Isaac? When it comes down to me just telling you right there that Indianapolis was just going to put an old-fashioned spanking on Miami.
Sorry, on why my eye had tears because that was just beautiful, and it gave me chills.
Yes.
That made me emotional. That was beautiful. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, Isaac. He's making fun of me, folks, but it's okay. Phee enjoys life.
I thought it was great.
Now, let's move into this week's Week 2 games, and let's talk about some matchups that Sir Isaac, the Guru, really can't keep his mind off.
I'll start with the one tonight just because we got to say something about it. I really don't feel strongly either way, but I think I'm going to go with Jaden Daniels to win that game in Green Bay.
I had a young man ask me today who I liked, and I said, "What's the line?" And he said, "It's +3. Washington +3."
It was 3.5.
And I said, "Well, buy the hook and play the +3.5 because that's a field goal game, unless one of those two quarterbacks turns the ball over because those defenses are going to play."
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, they're going to put pressure on those quarterbacks, but those quarterbacks, if they play the right way, and Jaden Daniels is just going to continue to do what Phee told him at the beginning of the year. He's just going to keep impressing.
That's what I'm banking on, and that's what I actually changed my mind. I think even on my notes I put that I liked Green Bay, and on my way here I changed my mind because I'm just going to go with how I watched him perform in those games last year. And in every single big game that he played in that was either a primetime game or a game against a good team, he just showed up. I mean, he did it every single time. And so I think I'm just going to rock with Jaden Daniels and the Commanders in that game. It should be a really good game.
It's going on right now, folks, so you heard it right now. I promise you we don't have a TV in here, which is a problem for Phee, but it's 3.5. If you want the 3.5, get the 3.5 if that game hadn't started. I do like that. Let's go to the Sunday games.
All right, I've got Steelers and Seahawks.
Where are they playing?
I'm pretty sure it's in Seattle.
I ought to be able to handle this while you go right ahead and tell them. So it's Seattle, Pittsburgh. What's the line?
Yeah, it's 3.5. I think the Steelers are 3.5-point favorites.
At Pittsburgh.
You telling me that or asking?
Yeah, I'm asking. It's more important than anything when it comes to these lines in the NFL.
Yeah, what I need to start. The problem is when I make the decision, I'm looking at it and then I haven't put it on my notes. So
I've got it right here, folks. I've got it right here. Okay, we've got
in Pittsburgh
right now. It scores 0-0 Washington at Green Bay, And so then we got Seattle +3 at the Steelers. What do you think?
I like the Steelers to cover and win by probably they should win by a touchdown in my mind, but I love them to cover, especially at home too. But Aaron Rodgers just looked really good last week. I was super impressed. I also think their defense can't play worse.
He likes Pittsburgh at home -3.
100%.
And he doesn't think that the Steelers' defense can play worse. And against Seattle, folks, if Mr. Walker III runs for 300 on them, I'm just going to drop them. I don't understand what it could work. Moving on, a Brock Purdy injured list for at least 2 to 3 weeks. As the 49ers can never stay healthy. They are a 4-point favorite against Spencer Rattler, like a little snake, Rattler.
I want no part of that game.
Okay, you don't want the home dog plus the 4.
Absolutely not.
Okay, well, they're skipping the San Francisco. I guess you would call it the nursemaids. What are they? The 40 nursers or something?
What do they put in the water in San Francisco?
Again, it's a part of the culture.
My goodness.
Let's go to the Browns that are +11.5 against the Ravens playing in Baltimore. What do you think, Guru?
I want no part of it.
He was scared to death of the Browns now with Joe Flacco, and he's scared to death of the 11.5.
I mean, let's be honest. The Ravens should win by 24.
Phee will tell you that's probably one of the best plays of the week. Take the Ravens to win by at least 2 touchdowns as the Browns become the Browns again, as they go back-to-back against Cincy and Baltimore.
You know who's comfortable playing in Baltimore?
Myles Garrett.
Joe Flacco.
Okay, well, Joe Flacco had a great career, won a Super Bowl at Baltimore.
He's about to remind them what he looks like.
Oh, my goodness gracious, boys and girls. He's living in the past. We're back to the future with Joe Flacco. I have no problem with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco's a tremendous quarterback for many years as a backup and did it well as a starter. I don't have any problem with him. But the bottom line is the Brownies playing the Bungles last week. Now they got to go to the Ravens that just, by the way, folks, took a 1-point loss when they were up 15. That's what good coaching moments right there for the Ravens. So they will win that game handily.
I think Joe Flacco before the game walks up to Lamar with his Super Bowl ring and he says, "Hey, buddy, someday maybe you can figure out what this feels like."
Oh.
But no, the Ravens should win by a lot. I don't disagree with you there. I just didn't want to touch the game. You're right. It should not be a close game.
All right.
And I know that's music to your ears.
The Bengals -3 against the Jaguars, which played well last week. What do you think about Joe Burrow coming off a 1-point win? Wouldn't you say that was one of the best plays of the week?
I want no part of it.
You are so scared of anybody with the Browns or the Bengals.
I want no part of it.
Again, those probably are the 2 best plays. Just play Cincy -3. Buy you a half and get you -2.5.
They're in timeout. They're in timeout for me.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, the Buffalo Bills, which came back for a 41-40 victory with our boy Josh Allen putting on a show with a kicker that just showed up 2 hours before, had a cup of coffee, and they started throwing parades for him. And I'm thankful for him. Because I wasn't aware that their other kicker, which I drafted, so I just kept with the Bills kicker.
When did you draft him?
I drafted the Bass boy. I don't know. I have no idea, but he's probably been dead or injured for 30 days. Hey, look at it this way: it's the Buffalo Bills kicker. That's all I wanted.
You took him in like round 5.
Are we in that section? Are we even talking about that? You spend days, hours. I probably spent 15 minutes. So I go through history. So anyway, you don't want any part of the Bengals, and they're in timeout against the Jaguars.
They're in timeout.
I like the Bengals big. And then you got the Bills -4 at New York at MetLife Stadium, +6 Jets at home coming off that loss to Pittsburgh.
I don't have that in one of my favorite picks, but I would pick the Bills to cover the touchdown. My only concern would be their run defense was horrible last week against the Ravens. It was horrible, and that's all the Jets are doing right now. Justin Fields is obviously really good with his feet. Breece Hall looked really good last week. So I'm a little scared to bet it, but the Bills should win by. They should cover that, in my opinion.
All right. All right. I don't have a feeling on that game. That's the ones that I would stay away from.
I am.
Right there. So then you got two 0-1 teams from that NFC North, the frozen tundra up there. But guess what? The Bears at Soldier Field last week lost, and Detroit Lions lost. So now you got Detroit -6 at Detroit. What do you think, Guru?
Also not on my games, but I like Detroit to cover 6. I think that they're going to they should have a little bit of a bounce back. And the Bears looked, I watched that whole game, and the second half of that game was tough to watch, folks. It was tough to watch. So
I did not see any of the game, as I'm limiting my time in watching football games, and I was working or playing or speaking or talking to someone or something. I can't tell you what happened, but I know that when I came with night, it was 17-6. When I got out of that, it was over. But the Detroit game really disappointed me last week.
It was crazy.
I don't know what's going on there.
I don't either.
But that surprised me. Well, let's go to the Giants going to the Cowboys. The Cowboys are a 5-point favorite, and the Giants have got a good defense. They've got neighbors. They have no help at quarterback, and Dallas can score. What do you think, Guru?
Actually, fun fact, that game has moved an entire point since I did my notes earlier. It was 5.5. Now it's 4.5 on my phone. But I love the Cowboys to cover 5.5 anyway, so yes. I definitely like Dallas in that game. If Russell Wilson's throwing the football, give me whoever the Giants are playing.
That's an easy play for even the general public to look at. One team scores a lot of points. The other team has a real difficult time scoring with their quarterback. So if a less than a touchdown spread, almost anybody would tell you, well, unless turnovers, if the Giants cause 3 turnovers and you get a pick 6 or a punt return or a kickoff return, remember, a special teams touchdown will change the outcome line of the game 82% of the game. If you find a blocked field goal, a blocked punt, pick 6, any of those things, a touchdown return for all of those things, that changes the line 82% of the time.
I think the Giants are not good, and I think that Dallas actually they played the Eagles well, and I even think that they played better than the result of that game because CeeDee Lamb had a couple bad drops, and they're only bad drops if your name is CeeDee Lamb. A lot of receivers in the league, if they would have dropped those balls, no one would say a word, but he had a couple drops that had the chance to change the game, and I think there was a video that went around this week of him spending a lot of time on his own because he wasn't happy about it, and I just think their offense is even better than they looked last week.
That's what winners do, and I agree with you. You even said to me that you thought Dallas would be better on offense, and with Pickens, they look like they're going to score a lot of points. That's a game that I would like to.
Yep.
If it's as long as it's less than a touchdown.
Yeah, and right now it even moved in the opposite direction I would have thought, so I'm definitely going to stick with the Cowboys to cover that spread.
All right, well, moving right along again, you have a game I wouldn't even watch. You got Miami -2 at home against the Patriots of New England. Did the New England quarterback from North Carolina impress you last week?
He was okay.
Okay.
He made some good plays, made some bad plays.
Didn't see it.
It was nothing bad, but I will not be watching or betting that game either.
Drake May?
Yeah, Drake May.
Okay. And so Miami -2 at home, you don't want any part of it?
No, because I think Miami's in a spot where they looked absolutely horrible, but they have enough talent on the team that they...
If they win this week, folks, they're just 1-1, and it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
All right. Also, Rams at Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans are plus 5.5, a home dog. What do you think about that 14-9 score last week against Houston with the Rams? What does that tell you about them going to the Titans and still a 5.5-point favorite?
I'm more excited about this week judging them. Last week, those were just two really, really good defenses playing against each other, and it was an ugly game. But I think everyone kind of knew that going in. That was another one I switched at the last second before Sunday. I ended up betting the under in that game. I think initially I'd like the Texans to cover.
What a great that's an under all the way.
It was never in doubt.
You can go eat on those rascals.
But I think that I do like the Rams to cover at the Titans. I think that's another really rough week in a row for Cam Ward. He's playing two of the best defenses back to back, and the Rams defense looked incredible last week. So
how I know he played well in his first start, because you didn't hear anybody talking about how many picks he had or how bad he looked or how he looked like a fish out of water.
No.
You didn't hear anything, so I again didn't see it, but I assumed, I saw the score and I thought he played well enough.
And his receivers dropped a ton of balls.
And they covered against Denver.
Yeah, which that was crazy too.
So that doesn't make you feel good about them being a home dog?
I think Denver played really bad on offense. Their defense was really good, and they will be really good, but Bo Nix didn't play very good first week, and Cam Ward did have a lot of really good throws. I'm not saying he played great, but there was 4 or 5 that went right through his receiver's hands that should have been pretty big plays. But the Rams is just, there's a few defenses in the league right now that if they give me a reasonable line betting against whoever they're playing, the Rams is one of those defenses. Last year they were the same way, and playing against the Texans last week, they're just mean. They're mean. They got a bunch of young dudes too. They're bad to the bone. Their defense is mean. So I'm gonna think that they give Cam Ward a hard time and cover that spread. But
Matthew Stafford scores enough to cover the 4.5 or 5.
Yeah.
Or 6. I think it's 5.5. All right, let's keep moving, Guru, as we go to the Carolina Panthers are at Arizona Cardinals. Arizona -6.5, as it looked like Kyle Murray last week decided he'd come out and play for a week.
A little bit, but they still didn't look very good. There's a lot of, unfortunately, and I'll watch all the games Sunday, but there's a lot of games this week that there's kind of some nasty games that I'm not super.
You're not interested in that game?
No. It's the Panthers. I had high hopes. I say high hopes. I was excited about watching them last week because they ended the year strong last year, and I thought Bryce Young.
That means they won 2.
Yeah, for them, they ended it great. They ended the best they have in years. But no, Bryce Young actually looked like he had some confidence at the end of the year, and I was like, okay, maybe they're going to build a little bit of something. Last week was ugly.
I had a question about him on Night one day this week, and my response was that I always thought he was too light, but I don't know what type of coaching or how many different systems. And he doesn't look like he's got a couple of more years, and then he'll be hanging it up or be a backup, or he'll go someplace else. But I don't see it getting any better in Carolina. And I think when the Guru says that this is a game that he doesn't normally wouldn't want to watch, it's because he has plenty of other options to watch. And when the Carolina Panthers play, if he's not playing on that game, then he's not going to turn that channel to that Carolina Panther game. It's kind of like him and the Saints.
It might want, yeah. They need to play each other so that I can just
block that.
Exactly.
You just block it.
Exactly.
Don't show it to me again.
I don't even have fantasy players in that game, so no, I got that. I'm out. I'm out on that game.
Denver Broncos -1.5 at the Colts of Indianapolis.
Not gonna bet it, but I am excited about it. I think that should be a really good game. Again, you want to talk about a flip script on Daniel Jones. Last week he played a Miami team that looked embarrassing, and then now he's playing probably the best secondary in the NFL, so that'll be fun to watch him. Bo Nix played bad last week. He should be able to turn around a little bit this week, so I am excited to watch the game.
Best play of the week for Phee, Denver -1.5.
I like it.
The Colts.
I like it. I don't have it, but I like it. I think that should be just a really good game.
I don't know if it could beat the other one. I can't believe that that was out there. I've already made my pick on that one too. So I got 2 of them out there anyway.
What was the other one? Was it the Ravens?
Yeah. The Ravens. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's fair. I like them both. I'm just not going to do it.
Okay. Well, hey, again, he didn't play against the Dolphins last week either, and he suffered for it. See, he struggled because of it. And so anyway, let's go on back again and let's talk about a game that most people would think, hey, should be whatever game everybody's talking about because it was the Super Bowl matchup of last year. But it seems like that it's kind of just under the rug this week with all the other games. So tell me, what do you think about the Eagles and the Chiefs KC at home in Arrowhead plus the 1. Good luck with that. That's like playing against Ohio State in the shoe when it was Texas. And Phee told you, I normally wouldn't do that, but he did, and they paid a price. Like Sir Isaac's paying a price for not listening to Phee last week. Now, this week, I have to tell you, I'm a little nervy.
I'm going to emotionally fade myself in this game because my brain tells me that I like the Eagles minus 1.5. But I'm also not stupid, and I know that in Arrowhead, after a loss in the Super Bowl, my heart wants to tell me that the Chiefs are going to win that game, but I can't.
Good game to watch, not a good game to play for any Monet.
Great game to watch.
Great game to watch.
Great game to watch. And also they
Phee would have tried to play it just because he'd wanted to win.
Well,
those are the kind of games I just like to play to win.
I'm gonna do what I tell my friends to never do. Okay. I'm gonna bet one way with money, and emotionally I'm on the other side, which I hate that logic 99.9% of the time because people tell themselves, well, I'll just bet against the team I like because if they lose, I'm happy because I win some money. If they win, I'm happy because my favorite team won, and I hate that.
Folks,
hate it.
Because of what happened in the financial markets and the SEC, and that's the Security and Exchange Commission, back in the 90s, hedge funds became a very big deal. Hedge funds were patterned off of or out from an industry called gaming, because for many, many years in Vegas with professional sports bettors, they knew how to hedge their plays. Now it's going so far inside his minds that he's playing emotional games inside his mind. So if he bets one way and his team wins, then he loses the bet, but he's happy because his team won. But if his team loses, then he's happy that he won money, and it's okay that his team lost. That is where we are now in America as a culture. That is why I'm dealing with a man who plays in 7, 5, 3 different fantasy football leagues, turns in 6 different brackets for the NCAA basketball. He's playing mind games inside his mind, picking games to either win or his team to win.
Hear me out. I promise you I never do it. I have a friend, and hopefully he watches this and he'll know exactly who I'm talking about. I have a friend who every single person that Arkansas football plays against, he bets against us for that reason. And I have chewed him out for it for 3 years because I think it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And I do not do it on purpose. This, I think, is the first time that I'm doing it on purpose in this game. But the Chiefs, as much as I do say that I like the Chiefs, it's different than Arkansas. For me, it's not the same. I don't get the same. My heart doesn't feel the same about it as Arkansas, so I feel a little bit better about it. But no, I'm breaking my rule. I'm admitting it, and you can roast me for it. I give you permission, but I'm doing it. This is the first time. It is. Yeah. It is.
It's like I was telling him about my son. He went and got us some Wingstop. I hadn't had wings in 6 months, and I had probably had 15 or 60 of them. I look over and he's got boneless wings. I said, "There's no such thing as boneless wings. Those are chicken nuggets."
Don't get me started.
I mean, that is, you raise them all the same way, and they just don't turn out. That's the same way I'm trying to explain to you. I just can't understand how you can get there from a theology standpoint to where you're actually pulling one way emotionally and the other way financially. That's what you call a house divided.
Well, I'm with you on the nuggets thing. And by the way, if you're going to eat boneless nuggets, first of all, don't pay for them at a restaurant. Go and support your Arkansas Razorbacks NIL fund and buy the stinking Tyson ones at Walmart because that's all they're selling to you anyway. Boneless wings from a restaurant's crazy work. That's crazy behavior.
Tyson Foods, if you're listening to this, that's a real nice advertisement. Free, by the way. We would like to have a little, I was
about to say no free ads.
A little send fee, send fee a little. Muley, maybe contact Phee at 1-833-FEE-SME or thefeesme.com. All right.
No free ads. Pay up.
Chicken nuggets, he went off on that because I just don't understand it. You raise them all the same, and he's eating went, but he actually said, I got the boneless.
I can't help you there.
I got the boneless. I said, boneless. Well, there ain't no such thing as a boneless wing. So anyway, let's get back to some serious. He's pulling one way, but anyway, I would tell you that let's stay away from that game. But if I was going to play it in order to enjoy it, then I just go ahead and take the home dog in Arrowhead plus the 1 and enjoy life. And if you lose by 2 touchdowns, then you can say the Eagles have now surpassed the Chiefs, and they're not what they used to be. So
can't say it.
You can do whatever you want to say and say whatever you want to do. But anyway, the Falcons plus the 3.5. My boy Penix looks real good last week in the loss. But they go to JJ's team in Minnesota and minus 3.5 the Vikings at home. What do you got?
I got the Falcons to cover 3.5.
He likes the hook. He likes the field goal on the hook. You'll find in the NFL more games decided by 3 points. That exact number. That's why you see a lot of lines at 2.5, 3.5, and you'll see them at 6.5 and 7.5.
I like the Falcons a lot in that game. I don't think the Vikings are there yet, just because J.J. McCarthy's young. But earlier I talked about how the man just finds a way to win. So I'm sure he'll bite me in the butt and make me change my opinion. But I like the Falcons.
He likes the Falcons plus the 3.5 at the Vikings. Going to Tampa Bay plus 2.5 at the Houston Texans and Mr. C.J. Stroud. What do you think after getting 9 points last week? Will they bounce back at home this week against the Bucs? Because let me tell you something, Baker's just putting on a show. He's steady scoring 28 a game. Whether they win or lose, who knows? But he's going to put up some points, that Tampa Bay offense.
I think.
And your rookie just showed out last week, didn't he?
He did. And he's going to probably do it
again.
again.
Another wonderful selection by Sir Isaac the Guru.
He's probably going to do it again this week because they're going to put Stingley on Mike Evans, and they're going to let him roam free over there. But I think that's one of my upset picks. I didn't love the game, but I think I like the Bucs to win outright. But that's another fun game to watch. I don't feel super strongly about it either way, but I think I like Baker to go down there and win that game. The Texans their offensive line is really bad, and the Bucs defense isn't terrible. I just don't think they can score enough personally, but Baker's been killing it.
I'll take the Texans minus the 2.5 at home, less than a field goal to bounce back and win that game by a field goal to 7 points at home. And another Monday night game, which is strange to have 2 this early in the year, but they tend to find a revenue increase and way to maximize it. So, again, they've got 2 this week. What do you think about the Chargers minus 3 going to the the Las Vegas Strip and playing the Raiders? The Raiders plus 3 home dog on another Monday night. Sir Isaac, tell me what you think.
I think the Chargers cover 3 in Vegas. I think they probably win. I like the Chargers. I like the Chargers to cover that.
The Raiders went to New England last week, played them a pretty good game.
Geno did what we said he was going to do.
Exactly what you said he would do, which I think you'll find out if you tune in to Phee Network's Fee's Sports Ball with Sir Isaac the Guru. You're going to find that most of the things, what he says, the reason he's sitting beside Phee is because he's going to be right most of the time. But they do call it gambling for a reason, folks.
Yes. I still got a heck of a truck payment. If I was really good at it, then I'd be in a different spot. But
again, I don't understand it. But you got to put your money where your mouth is sometimes, or you just got to make a living talking trash right there in front of that camera, and that truck will be paid for, no problem.
If I had a chance to make a living doing anything, it might be talking trash. I think most people would be able to take
this
that.
Is what you will do as soon as Tyson Foods spends some money with Phee and the Feast Me Network.
True.
He's not going to be running the businesses if he can do this because he eats it up like a spoon.
I do love, and anytime I get the opportunity to talk trash, I'm down for it.
All right.
And again, Tyson, pay up. There's no free ads.
Kicking back and talking smack with Sir Isaac the Guru. We've through the NFL slate for week 2. We're going into fantasy football. because you just gave Phee a black eye last week with Mr. Harvey and J.K. Dobbins sitting on my bench getting twice the carries. So again, Fee's taking a nail on that one early, and he's kind of stubborn like Sir Isaac. He's not switching this early.
Hey man, he looked good. He looked good in his carries he got.
Yeah, he had 7 carries for 70 yards. He's averaging 10 carries, and J.K.'s getting twice as many.
Best running back in the league.
Scored a touchdown. So that's what I said. He's not going to stay away from it. He'll have Zay on the bench again.
Oh goodness!
And starting DK Metcalf and LeConkey and Neighbors. So
I think a lot of people unfortunately made the same mistake as you with Zay Flowers. I think that was a common thing across the fantasy world.
He be blooming, baby.
He was blooming.
He be blooming.
Those flowers were blooming.
I'm here to tell you that it makes Phee sick to think I've got to play him. Who am I going to replace? I can't put Neighbors on the bench. I can't put DK or Ladd on. I mean, I'm telling you right now, if you have to pick one, because Mr. Flowers has got to play.
Am I playing you this week, or am I playing someone else?
You couldn't play with me. The only way you could play me was with pickleball, with why I hear your skill set is getting to. But now.
Well, let me decide whether I'm going to give you advice real quick on Zay Flowers.
Oh, my goodness. You don't need to worry about that.
Okay, I'm not playing you. I would still sit him on the bench.
There you go. That's what Phee did last week. He paid a great price, and that's what he's going to do again this week, because one game does not make a season. But people will look back if he's averaging 26 points after 2 weeks and say, Fee's not a very bright fella.
No,
those are the kind of things that's called everyone gambles in their life. Who's your bookie and what's his price? If you win, does he pay? And if he doesn't, why do you play? Who's your bookie and what's he do? Don't let your bookie make a fool of you. Because if I set him on the bench for 2 straight weeks and he averages 28 a week, Fee's not looking too good.
Hey, let's view it in an optimistic way. You're choosing between great options.
Thank you. That's what Phee normally likes to do. You don't want to choose between a good option and a bad option. But what you really don't want to do is choose between a bad option and a worse option.
No, and you're not in
that spot. I've been there before, by the way.
Okay? You're not in that spot.
I'm rapidly approaching that spot now.
No,
so
I
got to be in the, when it comes to the handicap and the theology.
I think old McConkey catches a touchdown this weekend.
He ought to have 2. He's phenomenal. He's got a great quarterback. And so should Neighbors, but he doesn't have a quarterback. And so should DK with a good quarterback. And so should I could double dip with Lamar and Zay, Mr. Flowers today. But hey, look, again, Phee will stick and be stubborn and probably pay a great price, because I don't have a good feeling of it. Again, last week, Christian McCaffrey, San Francisco 49ers, Mr. Gibbs for Detroit, wasn't a running back out there that had a good week, and quarterbacks had 5 or 6 of them that just had great weeks. Didn't have, the receivers, Jamar Chase, they had some. There was 4 or 5 of them out there, but the Bowers boy for the Raiders actually scored a lot on fantasy picks and actually had some yardage.
And he got hurt, which I don't think it's supposed to be really bad, but he didn't even play. I don't think he played that full game, but he had a lot of targets early, and he did well enough that, he still did okay on people's teams. But then he got, I forget what the injury was, but he got banged up. And then there was a lot of wide receivers that played good, but it wasn't the big names.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Name a couple that played real well besides Zay Flowers.
Quentin Johnson for the Chargers, who I think he was undrafted in like 90% of fantasy leagues.
Okay.
He had 2 touchdowns.
I'm sure you've picked him up.
I haven't. I'm not going to. I have, yes. I have. I have picked him up, yes,
Bless
I have.
his heart. He decided he couldn't remember which league that he did that in, and he wanted to make sure that it wasn't the one that I'm in.
I picked him up.
So
that's all that you know.
Trust me, I would not take it again him.
Keon Coleman was a great one.
Isn't he from Baylor?
No, he was at. Why?
Wow, that's not
Florida State.
Okay, Florida State.
And but he was kind of going into the season, he's a second-year player, I think. He's supposed to be a really good jump ball guy for the Bills. You toss it up in the end zone. I think he had a basketball career, can jump out of the gym, great hands. But he actually looked for them last week like he was catching, routes across the middle of the field, short routes, touchdown. I mean, he just looked really good. Looked good all around. He had a good week. Derrick Henry.
Again,
my goodness gracious!
I'd have had him again, but they had me. They always put a Phee at a bad situation when the draft day. He always drafts at the end of the first round, and I would have had him again.
Is that where you took your kicker?
That's where I took Neighbors, which I'm still sick about. But I didn't have a choice. I can't pass on that type of talent. You don't have to understand. I don't care who's throwing the ball, but again, it does make sense not to take your first pick with a boy who doesn't have a quarterback.
It'll work out for you there, though, because they're going to switch quarterbacks.
It'll work out for Phee.
I do actually think it will. I promise.
I'm just telling you, he's one of the best receivers in the league, but he's in the top 4 right now. People just don't know it. They don't know it.
But Derrick Henry is insane. I wish I could remember the exact stat, but they said it during the game. They said that he, in his NFL career to this point, which the man's been the rushing leader a couple times at least, he's had 2 different 2,000-yard seasons, he still has not passed his high school rushing yards in his pro career, which is...
I saw him playing in high school on tape. It was ugly.
How is that possible?
Have you ever seen that video?
Yes.
Have you ever
yes, I have. He looks like he's playing against second graders.
Okay, I mean, just to be fair with you, that's a special, unique individual that's still. Now think about it. At that size, that's the way you looked against the people. Now he's playing in the NFL, and still, when he carries the ball, he looks different than most of your NFL running backs.
Well, they've been lying about his height and weight for his entire career. They claim he's like 6'2" and 220. That's absolute. I mean, that's a load of crap. That man is as tall as every single offensive lineman on the field.
He looks like the Terminator.
He's crazy.
And so yes, he is a monster. But yes, I thought you did real well with Breece Hall.
Yeah.
With the Jets, telling me how well he is. He always had the ability. I just wasn't sold on the offensive line, but he looked good.
He looked terrible last year and made a bunch of people mad in fantasy. And then last week he looked electric. I mean, he looked really good. Their running offense is amazing. The problem is they're going to run into a defense that is really good against the run, and Justin Fields is going to be in trouble. But when they play against, like, the Bills this week, it's kind of scary because the Bills just let Derrick Henry – I don't know if they ever touched Derrick Henry that entire game now that I think about it. But he ran all over them, and it's a little scary that the Jets might do the same thing. But no, Breece Hall looked good. Travis Etienne is a kind of a big story.
Always loved him out of Clemson.
They traded away their guy that everyone was like, who's going to be their number one, Tank Bigsby.
Reminds me a lot of his brother. And it reminds me a lot of James Cook and his brother.
Yeah, James Cook's so good too.
He really is, but he never gets because of Allen and his arm.
Mm-hmm.
He's not ever going to be a lead top rusher. But I'm going to tell you something right now. You put him with a different team, he is a lead.
Yeah,
he would be just as good as Gibbs in Detroit.
He's in a great spot there though for their team because he catches the ball so well that he's perfect for Josh Allen.
I agree with you.
But you made a joke about DK obviously because Flowers. But he looked really good. I think you're going to be fine with DK Metcalf.
Well, when they ricochet it off 3 players and he's laying on his back and catches it, and they win, I'd say that's a little momentum. That's a little mojo right there. That's a little good luck just jumping out of the gates on you. That's rolling a couple 7s or hitting a couple of blackjacks in your first 2 hands.
He's good. He'll be good. Tyler Warren was a good call. Tyler Warren looked really good.
Super good call.
And apparently, according to you, he has the best quarterback of all time throwing on the football, so that's always helpful.
Doesn't hurt.
And then here I got a name for you that I bet $100 you never heard this guy's name.
Okay.
Harold Fannin Jr.
Harold Fannin Jr., born 1963.
This dude, I literally I need to go home and look him up, but he's a tight end for the Browns. With Njoku, who we talked about last week.
Superstar.
And this man had 9 targets, and Njoku had 6, and he's a rookie from
Flacco
who knows where.
Tight end.
Yeah, which is, you can always rely on that. But I thought it was going to be Njoku, and it's whoever Harold Fannin Jr. is, which if your memory is correct, he's about 64 years old.
93.
So yeah, the fact that he's doing it at that
That
age
was
is
his grandfather that I knew, Mr. Fant. I have a Fant memory of that.
I deserve to laugh more at that. That was a good one.
Okay, thank you.
It was a good one. That's
Saying to the Face Me Network at all times is night's coming right up at 9 p.m. So don't be gone long. Get you a bite to eat and come back with Phee for night on the Face Me Network. What do you got else for the old fantasy football for the week, Sir Isaac?
That was really it. That was the only notes of last week.
I thought Joe Burrows is going to continue to struggle the first week, but I think he'll be a good pick. Lamar was a great pick. Allen was a great pick. Mahomes scored more than most of the time. He scored like 27.
Mm-hmm.
Am I missing somebody besides the Daniel Jones? I guess that he went from a nobody to a hero playing against those Dolphins.
Justin Fields had a great fantasy week, but he's
did.
it's with the running. That's the running quarterbacks have the chance to do that.
That's exactly right. That's why I think Kyler Murray is awful difficult for no one to pick because he runs and he passes. But again, when you don't have but 8 teams, I would never play in a league with less than 12. But again, I love my kids and raise them all the same way. And you say 12's the way it is. It's like having a 16-game college football playoff. I've been trying to tell them since I was about 12. They'll do it before I die. Now they've gone from 4 to 12. Sooner or later it'll be the Sweet 16. They'll have every single weekend of the best time of the year. 4 straight weeks. They will own the month of December and finish up on the New Year's Day, just like the bowl games used to be. And that's the way to do it. But again, they're now at 12, and I'm thankful for that. But Sir Isaac, I'm awful thankful for you driving down here and seeing me every week. What do you have to say about the best things of the week that you're looking forward to? Not only betting or games, but everything else. What do you got going?
Honestly, for me, not trying to cop out of the question, but it's just more football this week. Last week I was busy, didn't get to watch as much as I would have liked. This week
before the TV.
This week I'm dedicating my weekend to being in front of the TV watching football. So I'm just more excited to just sit there and enjoy it. Honestly, I like betting. Of course, you used to give me a hard time because when I talk about betting, I'm betting $5 on a game. But to me, that's exciting. So I'm not going to sit there and lose money, but I am going to love watching football games this weekend. And I'm also looking forward to watching Texas A&M beat Notre Dame, and I'm also looking forward to watching Arkansas beat Ole Miss. So
speaking from his heart, in both places, he is an SEC homer, folks. He is an SEC homer. If he thinks that it's just, the Aggies are just destined to beat Notre Dame and let them go 0 for 2 at home, that'll be a difficult situation. I might think about actually playing A&M plus the points, but to win outright, that's impressive. Of course, he's got Georgia Tech beating Clemson outright. So I don't understand it. What else you got, Guru?
That's all I got.
What fantasy football tip of the week?
Oh boy, let me think for a second. I'd say put Zay Flowers on your bench, and make sure if you have Emeka Egbuka, he's in your lineup because he's gonna be good again this week.
Tampa Bay wide receiver you told us about last week before anybody else knew anything about him. Sir Isaac the Guru has jumped on him in fantasy, and I did see him play. I'm telling you what, he looks the part.
He'll be good again.
He looks the part. Anything else you got as far as quarterback-wise? Who's your quarterback in all 3 of your leagues?
I have Lamar in a league.
Okay, I have him in the one league I'm with him in.
I have Josh Allen in a league.
2 for 2, I guess.
And who is and Bo Nix in my other.
Struggling.
Yeah, it was bad start.
Right there. Even if Bo has a good year, the other 2 will have better ones.
Bad start.
I thought he was going to say Joe Burrows. I was like, well, he's 3 for 3 with his leagues.
Nope, I avoided Sleepy Joe this year, but I'm glad because I would be mad at him right now after week 1.
Well, Almond Joy's got nuts. Mounds don't. Almond Joy's got real milk chocolate, chewy coconut, ooh. Mounds got chewy coconut, ooh.
You nailed that. Is that?
Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't. Hey, which way you feel, Sir Isaac the Guru? You feel like a nut this week, or you feel like just a Mounds?
Which is better?
You like nuts?
I do.
Okay. Again, where's his mind? We're talking almonds. Guru.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about.
Talking almonds.
Cashews.
I tell you, the boy, as bad as good as he tries to act, I just don't understand it. I don't.
It was an
understand
honest answer, and it's not a good look for me. But that's my answer.
Not a good look for Sir Isaac the Guru.
No.
But dude, hey, I should ask you about plain nut.
Also, Almond Joy.
Okay.
Pay up, no free ads.
Okay, Almond Joy. That's right. I was going to ask him about plain or peanut M&Ms, but I was worried about a response.
Plain, easy.
Okay, I would always go with peanut M&Ms.
They're pretty good, but I'm gonna go plain in this context.
All right, for another episode of Phee Sports Ball with Sir Isaac the Guru. We are going to enjoy some football this weekend. Enjoy the weather. Enjoy the the football and festivities around the world. Let's pray for our country, and God bless you guys. Remember, no matter what you're doing, you're missing something. So let's make what we're doing worth what we're missing. Don't miss Sir Isaac the Guru on the Feast Me Network.
Don't miss it.
Night.
Go Hogs.